Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to Common English Mistakes. Don't just learn, improve. So today I've got a very common error people make with contrasting language. But after watching the video, you should know how and when to use these phrases. So anyway, the mistake is up here. Despite I had a headache, I went to the party. So just pause the video and try to correct the sentence. And there are a few ways to correct this, but well done if you said something like, although I had a headache, I went to the party. Despite my headache, I went to the party. Or despite having a headache, I went to the party. So the first thing to say is that all three of these sentences have basically the same meaning. We're contrasting two ideas, a negative, having a headache, with going to a party, a positive. And often we use these to show either surprise or that the part with although, despite is less important. The only difference is in the structure. So let's look first at although. You've probably seen this before. It's nice and easy to use. We just use although plus a clause, comma, clause. Or we can do it the other way around. Clause, comma, although plus a clause. Instead of although, we can also use even though or though. Even though has the same meaning, but it's stronger language. Even though I had a headache, I went to the party. Though also has the same meaning, I would just say it's less common. Generally though, I don't really see many problems when people use although, even though, although. The mistakes almost always happen when people try to use despite. So let's go back to our two original sentences. Despite my headache, despite having a headache, I went to the party. Just pause the video and think what two structures go after the word despite. And well done. If you said that after despite, we use either a noun phrase, or a verb ing. Again, this pair, noun, verb ing, comes up again and again in all sorts of different situations. And we can also use a pronoun before the verb ing if it's necessary. For example, despite him giving us directions, we got lost. And instead of despite, we can also use the phrase in spite of. Just be careful of doing what a lot of people do and confusing the two together, saying, despite of the rain, we had a barbecue. Despite the rain, in spite of the rain. Both are fine, just don't mix them together. And one more mistake I hear a lot is with negatives. So just pause the video and try to correct this sentence. And well done. If you said that for a negative, verb ing, we don't use the auxiliary, we just use the word not. So, despite not knowing anyone, I enjoyed the party. And the final thing to say is that we can use despite the fact that, in spite of the fact that, just like we do with although. Despite the fact that, clause, comma, clause. So, despite the fact that I had a headache, I went to the party. The only thing I would say is more words is usually more formal or when you're trying to be more emphatic. For more everyday situations, I would just always use although or despite. So that's the explanation over. The information is summarised here. The main things to watch out for is really just with despite or in spite of. Needs to be plus a noun or verb ing. Be careful when using the negative and use not plus verb ing, and be careful of mixing the two and not saying despite of. So now let's practice and improve. Just before we do though, if you are enjoying the video, find it useful and you haven't done so already, please do hit that subscribe button. The more this channel grows, the more videos I'll be able to make. Anyway, now just pause the video and put these phrases into these sentences using the correct structure. And well done. If you said, despite loving pizza, I only eat it once a month. In spite of the price, I think Le Creuset pots are worth it. Even though I enjoy visiting New York, I wouldn't want to live there. Despite not knowing the language, it was easy to travel in Indonesia. Although I think iPhones are good, I would never buy one. Despite the risk, I sometimes cycle without a helmet. And finally, despite the fact that it's difficult, I'm learning Portuguese because I live here. So now just pause the video and write, say, or discuss the same sentences for you. Anyway, that's basically it for today. People make a lot of mistakes with despite, in spite of, all the way up to sort of B2, C1, but it is worth studying. It's fewer words and therefore it's going to be easier to say once you get it. And as always, fewer words, easier to say is usually more natural. Anyway, that's everything today. Once again, if you like the video, remember to like, subscribe, and maybe tell your friends. And until the next video, see ya.